Hi, group number ones. Welcome to this week's reading. This week we are doing a little spread called That's Rough, Buddy. We're just gonna be kind of processing a rough day. Like, why has the day been so hard? Why is it your right to be upset? How to make yourself feel better? And what can we learn from this day? So, the deck I'm using today is my Cosmovisions Oracle Tarot, and this is the card that brought you in today. There it is. One sad boy and one journeying boy meeting at a crossroads. And your little buddy today is this guy. This is George. He is a gorilla, and he likes to drink tea. So, I'm going to put these, one here and one here. Yeah, so I decided to do this reading because I've had a couple of hard days, and I know a couple other people who have had some very hard days, and it just kind of feels like there's some kind of energy in the air. I don't know if it's because all the planets are retrograde, but just kind of feels like there's some low days for everybody. And I know from our collective checkup that I did a couple weeks ago that a lot of people are going through huge transformations in their life and huge letting go and moving on. And those can cause some really rough days. So we're going to do a reading to help us process those rough days. Okay? Okay. This is a really nice reading because it's only 4 cards. And it's really helpful. And you can do it on your own with your own cards. And yeah, so here we go. Guides of group number 1, would you please help me out with this reading? Give me the messages that group 1, oh, you want 2 cards there, okay. Actually, this goes here. That you want group number 1 to hear today about processing rough days. This one wants to come out. And actually, I see this one too. So, 2? Okay, 2. Well, you got 2 cards in a couple places, so your guides want to be really specific. Your guides want to be really specific about some things. So, yeah, here we go. So this first position here, we're going in a clockwise way around the circle. This first position is, why has this day been so hard? So the cards that you got here are the Ace of Birds, which is the Ace of Swords in this deck, and the Shapeshifter. I believe this is one of the knights. I'm going to double check for you real fast. So, the Shapeshifter is the Knight of Wands. It's kind of cool that these 2 cards actually swirl into each other pretty nice. So, why has this day been so rough is the question, or so hard for you guys? I feel like there's been a missed boat. Like, that's what this feels like. It feels like there was a missed opportunity, a missed meeting, a missed chance to maybe speak what you wanted to. Like, instead of saying what was on your mind, instead of speaking your truth, you shapeshifted. You became what other people needed you to be in that moment, instead of actually being yourself and meeting your own needs. You instead shapeshifted for other people to be what they needed. Yeah, that's what I'm feeling here, is that you were this boy, and there was an opportunity for you to share, and it was missed. Either because you were so deep in whatever negative emotions you were feeling that you didn't notice somebody else reaching out a hand to help, or because no one really tried. Perhaps this person represented in this image just walked on by instead of reaching out a hand and asking. But it feels like a missed opportunity. This day has been hard because there was a missed chance. There was a missed moment to speak out and air out something that has been bothering you for a while. So you've been keeping all of those things to yourself instead of expressing them, and that's why it's been so hard, because you've put all of the burden on yourself and not been able to share it with anybody else. So this next card is why it's your right to be so upset. And we have the Ace of Embers. This is the Ace of Wands in this deck. So the reason you have to be so, why is it your right to be so upset about this? It's because it was something you were passionate about. It's something you cared about quite a lot. Whether that was because the subject matter that you were concerned about, that you needed to speak about, was something that you cared a lot about, or the person that should have stepped up and asked, or the person that was there that could have pushed a little harder to get the truth out of you, was somebody you cared about, somebody you were very passionate about, whether that's friendship or romance or whatever. This person missed their opportunity to be a helper for you. And so it's your right to be upset. You weren't seen. It's something you really care about. So of course it upset you. Like, it's your right to be upset about the things you care about, when they don't go right, or when you can't express them properly, or yeah, like, we care about things because they're important to us, and it's your right to get upset when things aren't going right, or when people don't see your passion about the subject as important. Just because it's not important to them doesn't mean it's not important. Okay. The next card I have here is how to make yourself feel better. And we have the Swan. Oh. The Swan in this deck is the High Priestess. This particular High Priestess talks a lot about mirror imagery. It also talks about being guided into the spiritual realms, and it talks about bravery and self-appreciation. The Swan is a infamously vain creature, but it has a right to be. Like, it is beautiful, so it's not vain in vain, if that makes sense. So how to make yourself feel better, I'm really seeing a need to reconnect with why you are so passionate about this thing. What was the reason? What was the deep, why are you so attached to this thing? Whether it's an emotion, or a person, or a hobby, or a profession even. What made you so attached to this thing in the first place? Like, why is it important to you? Because that deeper reason of why it is important to you shows why you are so upset about it. Like, because it might be attached to your personal identity. It might be attached to your feeling of being connected to a higher being. It might be, that's where the thought ended. So I think there is a need for you to return to why your passion is so important to you. If you were upset that you couldn't express yourself to this person that you really care about. Why do you really care about this person? And if it's love, like, you should feel that even though you missed this opportunity to speak your truth here, it does not mean that you cannot speak your truth in the future. It does not mean that this opportunity is lost forever. It means that we need to communicate better in the future. One missed conversation does not mean there will not be more conversations. It does not mean that this couldn't be a learning opportunity for the other person to, oh, okay, when I see this behavior, I should ask this question. It's a need to return to yourself and really understand why was it triggered? Why was there such a deep reaction? Why am I so upset? I think it's a saying that what you need to do to make yourself feel better is to more fully understand why you were upset. Like, look at it now that the day is over, look at why the upset happened so that you can further understand yourself and understand why that connection was so important. Because if we understand why it upset us so much, it enables us to then communicate clearly to the missed person that, like, it allows us to clearly communicate to this person ourselves, and in not a moment of an upheaval, to clearly communicate how to handle us when we are in a moment of upheaval. You're still working, huh? That's cool. Anyway, so it's a need to further understand self, because once you understand why you are feeling this way, it'll make you feel better, because you'll be like, oh, okay, this makes sense, and like, I'm not crazy. Like, it's a validating experience is what I'm trying to say. That, like, okay, there was a reason, I understand it now, and now that I'm not so upset, like, I can gently communicate it to the people involved. I hope that makes sense for you guys. So this last position here is how to avoid this from happening again, or what can you learn from this day? I changed the wording of this a little bit because I feel like avoidance is not always healthy. Sometimes we need to face it. Sometimes we have to have the rough day, right? So I also added the wording of what can we learn from this day. So the two cards that you got here from your guides are the Seven of Trees, which is the Seven of Pentacles, and the Six of Birds, which is the Six of Swords. So this is interesting, these two things together. I think it's both talking about, it's doing both. It's talking about how to avoid it, but also how to learn. Because the Six of Birds talks about leaving to brighter shores, moving away from a situation, and the Seven of Trees talks about growth and waiting for things to come to fruition. So if this was an argument with a partner, or a missed opportunity for a partner to help in how you were upset or something like that, there is a need both to on your side of the fence, when you are this upset, there is a need to remove yourself from the situation, to to kind of give yourself the space, give yourself the calm space to wind down from that emotion, before engaging head on with other people. It's giving yourself the space and time to calm down, to go to the calmer shore, instead of just firing right off. Yes. So there's that need to avoid in the future separation for yourself, but there's also the, what can you learn from this? You can grow from this. If you have been working on something with somebody for a while, like if this is a partner situation, like habits don't change overnight. And somebody, and if this is a developing friendship or something like that, like people don't recognize things, people don't pick up on social cues right away with somebody. Like it can take years of time and understanding of a person to really pick up on the cues of when somebody is upset, because everybody is different and everybody has a different boiling point and everybody has a different way of reacting to stress. So there needs to be some patience, some time to enable these things to grow, to have these conversations after the fight or after the incident where our feelings were not talked through after that incident, to explain why these things happened and how to pick up on those moments in the future. Because sometimes we just don't know why we're upset in the moment, and then later we have time to calm down and think about it, and then we can really tell each other why we were upset and really like get to the bones of what the fuck is going on. So there is a need for patience and in the future also to give yourself space to calm down before firing away. Yes, I hope that makes sense to you guys. That is all I'm seeing from these cards. So the last thing I'm going to do for you guys is I have my Blessed Bee deck, and I'm just going to get one blessing from our guides and deities for you guys after this hard day, because we all need blessings after a hard day. So guides of group number 1, would you please give me one final blessing for group number 1 after this really hard day that they've had? Oop, that one. This one talked to me right away. So let's see what card you guys have. You guys have a blessing to heal a relationship. Oh, this is interesting since we were talking about that a lot in this reading. A blessing to heal a relationship, and this card is card 28 in case numbers are important to anybody. So we're gonna put it right here. And I'm going to read this to you guys out of the book. So, card 28, a blessing to heal a relationship. A blessing to aid you when a relationship seems to be a struggle and you cannot find a way to mend your torn heart. This blessing is yours, a charge of energy with which you can reweave the threads that once gently held you suspended in relationship. Once there was understanding and intimacy, ease and comfort, but for a while now there may have been trouble and discord, a sense of displeasure that stains the days, making the time you spend together uncomfortable and self-conscious. So take now this blessing and pour it upon the troubled waters between you. Where there is an uneasiness, let the expression of what causes this be found. And if it be found within each other, let a gentle disentanglement begin, until the source is discovered and is cured without stain and blame. Let your hands reach out one to the other and feel the warmth of your humanity pulsing through the blood beneath the skin, until the comfort of each other heals the coldness that has come between you. Let you begin to speak from the heart, flowing and strong, even if the voice that sends the words forth seems to choke within your throat at first. Let understanding begin to glimmer and grow, and the willingness to give and the openness to receive be explored, until the hearts that lie within you both open up and bloom within the new care and tenderness with which you agree to hold each other's most cherished dreams and hopes. Let words, soft and true, fall between you until you begin to trust, and arise from the bed of nails that you have each slept in since this disharmony came between you. Blessed be. Aw, that was really beautiful. Well, group number ones, thank you so much for watching this reading. I hope this was helpful. Please like, comment, and subscribe on my videos. That helps me out so much. I hope you all have a blessed everything. I really mean that. And I will see you all on our next reading. Thank you for watching. This was Pan. Bye, you guys.